All right, we're joined by the Maryland Terrapins head coach Kevin Willard, Jahmir Young, Don Carey, and Donta Scott. We'll go right to questions for the student athletes, then we'll come back to questions for coach. If you have a question for a student athlete, please raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you. We'll start on the right-hand side.
Donta, how's the knee?
It's good. About to do some treatment and be ready for tomorrow. So
We'll come in the front row here to Emmett.
Also for Donta, you kind of carried the load scoring-wise in the first half. What was working for you?
My teammates really found me early on, and they all had faith in my shot, just like Coach had faith in my shot. Even though it hasn't been falling lately, they told me to keep shooting. I felt like I got hot early on, and then they just found a way to find me, and I just kept giving them assists.
Stay in the front row with Sam.
What was Minnesota's defense doing well? Kind of limited you in the first half.
I would just say just sending different reads, whether that's hedging or switches. But, I mean, I've kind of been seeing it all year, just trying to make plays as best as I can and, find my teammates. So it was a rough night for me, but the win is all that matters.
All right, stay in the middle in the front row. Ben.
Don, you've really been hitting a consistent groove here now, double digits in the last 5 games. What was working for you tonight, and what's been working for you over this past stretch?
I think the main thing is just being shot ready and being ready to shoot the ball all the time so my teammates find me.
Front row, middle, Ross.
Jahmir, your first Big Ten tournament, what were some of the feelings going on in the fort here in Chicago?
Really just excited to be here, ready to play and ready to compete with the guys that I've been playing with all year. So it was just an exciting moment.
Right side, second row, Emily.
Donta, your offense hasn't been as productive lately. What do you feel like went into today to have such a big first half?
Just having the mindset that when the ball come my way, I gotta be willing to knock down shots and be willing to not just shy away from the moment. My teammates believe in me, my coach believe in me, and I believe in myself. So I've been a good shooter before, and that hasn't changed. I'm willing to pass a couple down to get some easy ones, but my coach always told me to shoot, so I gotta be ready to shoot.
For any of you guys, how important was this game to just bounce back from those past 2 road losses?
Jahmir, take that.
Yeah, it's very important. This is our 3rd meeting with them, so they had a game yesterday, and we haven't played since last Sunday, so it was good for us to get this win, this first win, and get under our feet.
Anything else for the student athletes? We'll come back here. Nikki in the front row, left side.
Yeah, Jahmir, just going off that first half performance,
Yeah.
I think you had double digits in the second half. Almost every starter finished with more than 8. What kind of went into everyone kind of overcoming that first half and extending that lead throughout the second half?
Really started on the defensive end, getting stops. Really just taking our time, slowing down on the offensive end, playing off 2 feet, passing up good ones for great ones, playing inside out. So I feel like we did a good job of that in the second half.
Second row, Kevin.
You guys, not playing since Sunday, being on the road on a neutral site for the first time since December, you guys came out with a lot of defensive intensity. How were you able to bring that out here at 8 p.m. tip as well?
Donta.
We pride ourselves on defense. It's all about defense. Defense wins games, and we really get at after each other when we have practice, and we take that mindset into the game, and we know once we lock in defense, there's not really much you can do to really disrupt our connection on that defensive end, because then we know our offense will flow once our defense starts flowing. So,
far right side, Ed.
Don, considering the woes that this team has had on the road, how important was it to get this win?
It was very important for us. In a tournament, that first game is always the hardest game to kind of break through. Minnesota got to break the ice yesterday, so it was important for us to just come out with the W today to advance it tomorrow.
Anything else for student athletes? All right, you guys can head back to the locker room. We'll continue with questions for Coach Willard. If you have a question for Coach Willard, raise your hand and we'll get a mic to you. Start in the front row on the right.
Okay. Are you feeling it? Yeah, I'm feeling it.
Coach Jordan Monk with IMS. Can we talk about the start of the second half, how we got the ball for the tip, and then there was a jump ball during the first half, and then the start of the second half, we don't get the ball. Can you explain what the refs are trying to explain to you?
It's a bad rule, but it's the rule.
if you foul before the ball comes into play, they don't count that as possession, so the arrow doesn't switch. That's the rule. I don't agree with it. We have a lot of bad rules. That might be one of them.
Second row, middle, Ben.
Coach, you guys really had a good game plan for Jamison Battle tonight. What was your thought process going in, and how did the game plan work so well?
Yeah, we just wanted to stay home on Garcia and Battle. I thought over the last 3 games, they've been really finding each other, playing well off each other. Garcia played 40 minutes last night. Even though Battle fouled out with 9 minutes to go, he played all 31 minutes he was in there. It was more or less just stay at home and not get in scramble situations and just make them score over us.
Emily on the far right side.
Kevin, you talked about the disappointment at Penn State. How did you feel like the players responded this week, and was it reassuring to you as a coach just to see them come out and be able to play well today?
Yeah, I mean, again, I looked at Penn State a little bit differently. I thought we played well on the road. I mean, obviously Penn State just beat, I don't know who they just beat, but Illinois. I mean, you look at what Ohio State's doing. Our last 2 road losses are against teams that are pretty much rolling right now. And we should have won Penn State if we come up with a rebound and play a little bit better in the last 3 minutes. And Ohio State's playing really, really well. So we came out with a great mindset, had a good practice yesterday, good walkthrough. When you're in this as long as I've been in it, I always look at the big picture. And I look at Penn State and Ohio State playing really good. And those are our last 2 losses. So I thought we were playing good basketball. So I really wasn't that worried about anything.
Front row, Sam, and then Emmett.
Coach, you don't get the double bye, and obviously you don't get the rest, but do you see value in playing this game and having to play on this neutral court and playing in this environment and then going into tomorrow, getting one under your belt?
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said about that. I think playing the first game, I think that's why you see so many upsets in this, you have teams that aren't making the tournament. You have teams that are making the tournament. You have different levels of pressure. And so I think just getting back on a neutral court was really nice, to be honest with you. We've played well neutral. So I just thought after 2 tough losses on the road and playing really well to 2 games before that, it was good just to kind of, I don't know, get a different feel.
Emmett.
Kind of curious how you're able to balance the substitutions when Julian, then Pat, and then eventually Cal all got into foul trouble there in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, I would have stuck with Jew if I had to. I have a lot of confidence in Julian playing with 2 fouls. Even if he would have got his 3rd, I might even stay with him because, again, he's a very smart basketball player. He understands how not to foul at times. If we had given up a couple 2-point buckets with him out there, we would have scored with him out there, so it would have erased it. But I think I play guys with 2 fouls more than just about anybody because I have a lot of confidence in those guys, especially Julian.
We'll go to the third row.
Coach, it was night and day between Penn State and tonight for scoring for Donta. What did you see for him tonight, and what was working well for him?
Yeah, I mean, I think, defensively, Donta had a much harder assignment, I would say, at Penn State, with what Lundy does and how we were doubling Pickett. I thought Donta had a little bit better chance of resting tonight on defense, and I think when he doesn't wear himself out defensively, he kind of really helps us offensively. But Dante's been, he's struggled to shoot, but he's been so solid on the defensive end. He really anchors what we do defensively. So there is a trade-off where even though he's struggling, he's usually one of our highest plus-minus guys.
Front row, middle, Ben.
Coach, quick turnaround. Obviously, another late tip tomorrow night. Any initial thoughts on the rematch with Indiana tomorrow?
No, I mean, it's, no.
We'll finish with Kevin in the second row.
You mentioned the different levels of pressure in games like these. Your team going to the tournament, Minnesota not. How were you able to manage the pressure, assuming it was on you guys as a team with something on the line?
Yeah, I think the last couple of days we've had a lot of fun in practice. We watched film for a little bit on Penn State, and And then we had 2 good days where we just have fun in practice. Just wanted these guys to be a little bit loose coming into this week, going into next week. I want them to enjoy it. I didn't want them, I can handle the pressure. I want them to enjoy this moment. We have 4 or 5 guys that are never going to play college basketball again. I want them to be able to sit back and realize this is a lot of fun. This time of year, this is what you work for. If you're an at-large team, that means you've had a hell of a year. I've said this every year. It means your fan base should be happy. Your AD should be really happy. And it's one of those things that, I want them to enjoy it. I think that's, as I've gone through this now, and I've taken a step back and I've really enjoyed it, because it's not an easy thing to become, to get into the tournament. It's not easy. And this team has done a phenomenal job. So I think that my main thing is I want them to enjoy it and have some fun, smile, enjoy being around each other. I'm enjoying it. This is my first time in the Big Ten tournament, so, I'm trying to enjoy it. I do miss New York. I'm not gonna lie to you. But that's, I can keep on talking because I'm kind of pissed that we went second.
Well, that's what the
It's a
manual
Maryland
says.
guy up here.
I know, but that's what the manual says. I know.
Oh yeah, I think the manual changed today.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Some bullshit.
That's what I heard. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.